Live coverage of NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series action from Martinsville is being brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. By Craftsman, the official tool of NASCAR and the NHRA, celebrating 75 years of making anything possible. And by the Federated Auto Parts professionals in your neighborhood. Well, we are under caution for the second time in a day. An incident out of turn 4. There's the MB&A Chevy. Coy Gibbs' truck spinning out of turn 4. He spun around. He might have had a little help from behind and getting tapped. And here's what happened behind him. Randy Tolsma getting slowed down. He gets tagged from behind by Matt Crafton, who spins Tolsma around. Tolsma slowing down to try to avoid the Coy Gibbs spin. And the bad part was that Gibbs and Tolsma both getting righted, but Musgrave came by and put both those trucks a lap down. Let's check in with Amy East.
Well, the word down here in Coy Gibbs' pit is that he said he has no damage. They came down pit lane, gave him 4 fresh tires and fuel, and through chatter over the radio, they seem to think that the whole chain reaction of events started because of a lapped truck. Now, I couldn't see that, but that just seems to be what they think might have happened. So they're not blaming each other, that meaning the 61 of Tolsma or the 20 of Gibbs blaming each other, or even blaming Crafton for that matter. So they seem as though it's just a tight little bull ring racing so far here at Martinsville.
Yeah, as Amy mentioned, Coy Gibbs had a little help there. Got turned around there. Matt Crafton had nowhere to go. Randy slowed down. He saw it first, obviously, and he got slowed down, and Matt bumped him in the back. Again, I'm sure Randy does not hold that again. That's just short track racing.
That's why they were nose to tail and a couple inches apart. And now they're set for the restart. And Randy Tolsma will try to close it up. And he made a pit stop, by the way, the 2-time short track winner. So he will try to get up and get back on the lead lap, try to get by Ted Musgrave if he can. There's the Menard Chevrolet, Matt Crafton. Both he and, actually he, Tolsma, and Setzer were making the move. They'd already gained about 7 or 8 spots. So
coming to the green line to the flag stand.
Why Randy Tolsma was not able to pull up right beside Ted Musgrave for the restart. There were a couple lap trucks that we had seen earlier, the 79 truck and the 73 truck, that restarted on the inside line, so that did not allow Randy Tolsma to get right up at the front of the field.
And Angie Wilson is also there in the nutritional pit stop dodge. Behind her, her teammate in the 51 truck, Michael Dock, and a couple of the Rick Ware machines.
We go 3 wide again, Doc. Watch out, Kenny.
And Schrader gets sideways, and he gets tagged by the 8 of Bill Lester is involved, and that will bring out caution for the 3rd time today. Kenny Schrader's Federated Auto Parts Chevy.
What's the damage there?
Pretty good damage to the front end of Billy Lester's truck. The rear damage won't make a whole lot of difference, but the front damage certainly could.
And there's Bill Lester trying to get that Dodge refired.
Anytime you get like it, Bill, just jump the clutch out and spin it around. You ain't gonna hurt nothing.
Here, Bobby Hamilton spotting for Billy Lester.
Bobby Hamilton, of course, the team owner.
It can't start it for some reason. I don't know what's up. It will not start. You probably had it flooded.
As Bobby Hamilton said, you probably had it flooded. You get a lot of raw fuel when the truck stalls like that. You get a lot of raw fuel dumped inside the engine, and that floods it.
Bill Lester had a great run in Daytona on his debut here for the full-time ride.
Nothing to do with luck, bud. You need to come in this 6th time.
We talked about 3 wide racing. We saw the 3 wide racing back here. Look, there's the 81 truck right in the middle. It's split by the faster trucks. You see Kenny Schrader on the inside. He's trying to make it by before they get to the corner. Does not quite make it. Makes some contact. Slides up into Randy Tolsma. And Randy, who never could correct the truck, got turned around, and Billy Lester with nowhere to go ran into Kenny Schrader.
Yeah, Lester had nowhere to go. He was pinned to the inside. There's Schrader trying to stay off of Tolsma. He gets the inside barrier, spins around, and that was the contact with Lester.
saw the differential between Billy Lester and Carlos Contreras right behind him close up. Billy saw the accident again before in a chain reaction deal. Carlos actually pushed Billy into the accident. Again, nothing Carlos did wrong. It's just one of those things. Short track racing, Doc.
Absolutely. Short track racing, Martinsville, Virginia style. NASCAR Craftsman truck action all year long, just like that. Back with more from Martinsville in a moment. Well, Ted Musgrave was the man to beat in St. Louis last year, backed by his powerful Ultra Motorsports team. The day was dominated by Dodge. He'll be under a lot of pressure to repeat because the lineup of Truck Series talent will be waiting to make St. Louis their gateway to success. Join us for the Busch 200 in St. Louis on May 5th, 4 Eastern Time on ESPN. And back under green at Martinsville Speedway, there's Brian Rose and the Sunclear Energies Dodge.
Who is that, Bobby?
As DW goes by the Duckhead Dodge, there's Brian struggling a little bit. Brian up in the points, actually third in the overall point standings.
Brian had a couple of handfuls of steering wheel off of turn 2 on the last lap.
Brian making his first ever visit to Martinsville, Virginia.
He sure has his hands full. That truck looks awfully loose. I don't know if he maybe could have a tire going down, but the truck is way out of shape.
And Brendan Gaughan in the Napa Dodge, he makes a move by. See what happened a moment ago to Brian Rose and in turns 1 and 2.
See him right there. That's going to be a little contact there between Lance Norick and Brian Rose. That's what sent Brian Rose around. But
He may have overheated his rear tires. That's why his truck has looked so loose for the last couple laps.
I think we're looking for Dennis Setzer there. Just got up on the loose stuff there and had to grab third gear to get back going and let several trucks get by him.
And caution being shown by Alan Porter now for the 4th time today here at Martinsville. We are just to the 38 lap mark.
Brandon McDonald turned around down turns 3 and 4.
It's great to see Randy back in that truck after missing almost the entire season last year with a neck injury.
Absolutely. Randy McDonald, we're talking about, driving the 72, the Greenfield Truck Center machine. He's tied for 12th in the points. Randy told me he fell off his mountain bike this week and bruised his shoulders. He was worried about running 250 full laps at Martinsville, but thus far he's done pretty well. All right, we are working caution for the 4th time a day. We have yet to get to the 50 lap mark. This caution, the spin by the 72 truck. Back with more green flag action in just a moment. And back at Martinsville Speedway, our NASCAR coverage, exclusive coverage of the Craftsman Truck Series right here on the worldwide leader, ESPN and ESPN2. Glad to have you with us. I'm Gary Clutch along with Phil Parsons, Ray Dunlap, and Amy East. We're at lap 44 of 250 in the Advanced Auto Parts 250. How about the job that Andy Petry has done? Andy Petry, NASCAR Winston Cup car owner. He has made 5 Busch Series starts in his career, but he had never started the truck until today, and he is running in 2nd spot.
That's a tremendous job, Andy. Andy won a lot of short track races back around Hickory, North Carolina, Greenville, South Carolina, back in the late 80s, early 90s, but has not raced that much. Maybe racing, he's probably averaged racing in the last 10 years once a year. And to come out here against this field and to qualify as well as he has and run as well as he has is amazing.
His best Busch finish came here. He actually drove the late Dale Earnhardt's Busch Series car here back in 1994 and finished 16th. He also had a 16th place finish at Rockingham back in 88, so he's run well on the short tracks, but full-time as a Winston Cup car owner for Bobby Hamilton, and he'll also have 2 cars, by the way, at Talladega next week as he have Mike Wallace back in the 33 cars.
Andy was my crew chief back in 1988 when he ran here and ran Rockingham his first race, and I spotted for him. And then back when he ran Dale Earnhardt's car, I remember that very well because he spun me out in that race.
Andy wouldn't do that. How about Jason Leffler, who was the pole sitter in that exact truck a few weeks ago at Darlington, and talking about spinning out. He had a heartbreaking spin in the late laps. He had probably one of the trucks to beat, but he's trying to make up for it today, holding strong here in 3rd spot. How about Travis Quapple, who finished second here a year ago, is now Andy Petry gets high.
You're talking about Andy Petry making a mistake. Hey, Andy's got an awfully good truck. He hasn't made many mistakes in 49 laps, but he said his truck was a little bit loose in the center of the corner back on the throttle, so that's what it looks like it had. He got a little bit loose in the center of the corner, got sideways up out of the groove and let a couple of guys get by him.
And there is Rick Crawford. Now he goes to the inside of Andy Petry. Just like you said, the truck in the middle of the groove and up across the racetrack.
He just has to chase the truck off the bottom of the racetrack, that allows these guys to get right on the bottom, hook the left front, and around they go.
Now he's in danger. Now he'll get a little pressure from the 16 truck. Mike Bliss. Show you again what happened to Andy just a moment ago.
Jason left looking. He's right in the center of the corner. See, he gets a little bit loose. It really started getting in the corner. He got a little bit loose. Had to chase the truck up the hill. That allowed Jason to get underneath him and get by.
And Robert Presley, our co-leader in points, is slowing down. Amy, what's the problem?
Well, it seems as though he's got a tire going down. As he hits the stop, yep, it's the left front tire. It's not going down. This thing is gone. They're changing right sides now, filling it with fuel. They're going to come around to the left. A little bit of trouble on the right front. Now they're hitting their marks on the left front. The tire completely gone. A lot of left side damage that occurred earlier through teammate Bill Lester when they had some contact. Don't know if that was part of this tire going down or not. Nevertheless, our point leader is having some trouble so far here at Martinsville.
Danny Gill and company there. They'll also, a lot of these teams getting some Winston Cup teams to help them, trying to pull that fender away. We just joined our coverage back early on. There was contact between teammates, the 18 and the 8, Bill Lester and Robert Presley, and we'll find out. Amy will check in their pits if that indeed may have been the problem that eventually cost that tire have to come off that Dodge. Here's a battle on the racetrack. 33, Andy Petry being shown back in 6th spot. Mike Bliss driving the IWX Freight Chevy for Steve Coulter. Looking to the inside, and right behind him, just being very patient, biding his time, is Kevin Harvick.
See Andy Petry again slid off the bottom of the racetrack. He's having trouble, especially down in turn 3 and 4. It doesn't appear to be as bad in turns 1 and 2. There's you see Robert Presley now, probably being shown a couple laps down anyway. 3 laps down for Robert Presley, our co-point leader.
And now Mike Bliss, 7-time winner in NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series competition. Now let's check back in with Amy, see what she found out about that contact on the Presley truck.
Well, I'm sure Bobby Hamilton won't like to hear this, but yes, indeed, the contact from the 8 confirmed through Robert's crew chief, Danny Gill, was the cause of the left front tire going down.
Well, that's happened before to teammates. Remember years ago in Winston Cup where Rick Hendrick had all 3 of his cars involved in an accident one time with a backstretch, had to separate his drivers. We chuckle about it, but if you own those cars, it's not very funny to you.
That was a car owner's worst nightmare, just like this is Bobby Hamilton, the truck owner's worst nightmare. They have 2 of his trucks involved in an accident.
And Tom Powers is right there on the inside group. Here goes Bliss, be able to make it by Robert Presley. By the way, Presley being shown 3 laps back, now in 33rd position. And there is Angie Wilson. We talked about this young lady, 27 years of age, out of Marion, North Carolina. Started her career at age 13 in go-karts on the Pine Valley Speedway. It was a dirt track. Only other female to race, Tammy Jo Kirk, as you saw. Ran back in 97 and 98, ran 36 times. And Angie, by the way, will be here for the rest of the year running for Ray Vestas Rookie of the Year. So great to have Angie on board driving for Rick Ware.
We saw Andy Petry lose another position to Kevin Harvick. That put Kevin up in 7th and Andy back to 8th. Andy looking at it back on the inside of Kevin Harvick.
Kevin said, whoa, now where'd he come from?
I thought he was a car owner, not a driver.
Andy says, I got to watch you race every Sunday. You get to pass my car or something. I'm going to pass you back. All right, having some fun. NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series now. Andy Petry goes back by Kevin Harvick, but they're all chasing Ted Musgrave. Back in a moment.